Now, you as an accountant, chartered accountant, always say keep your receipts, but what's this move towards paperless ones?
Yeah, we had an announcement over the last couple of weeks from Paymark, who's one of the biggest EFTPOS providers in New Zealand. They've come out and said they've developed a service now where you can actually have a paperless receipt. So instead of going, say, to the petrol station, filling out the $40 worth of gas and getting a receipt that you've got to put in the farm ute or whatever, you can subscribe to their service and you get a digital copy of it. So you don't have to worry about finding out where it is. It's just straight onto a device or into the cloud. So that's the end of those sort of paper receipts. It's got to be $50 or under, but it's a huge innovation.
And it's $50 or under.
It's going to make a lot of admin time disappear for people.
So do you use it on the phone or
Yeah, it's a special sort of subscription type service that's based around your phone, digital device, that sort of thing. There's a monthly cost, but it's an outstanding service for those that who have a lot of miscellaneous receipts that they never find.
It's going to help you as a chartered accountant.
Oh, it's going to make our life a lot easier because we're going to then say to them, have you got such receipt? And they're going to go over, look on that date or even under the name and find it. So there's no more hassle of trying to go through the farm ute and say, where did I put it? And and whoever's doing your bookwork trying to find it as well. It's all going to be there in one place.
And of course, the easier it is for you, the less you charge.
Yeah, it is, and the cheaper for the farmer, and it makes everyone happy.
Exactly. Now, speaking of slave labour, children working on a farm. I mean, I used to get board and lodgings at the school holidays from working on the farm.
It's that time of year again when people are sort of saying, look, we want to put our children on the farm. They want to use it as an income splitting type measure. So they figure that they're going to make a bit of money, hopefully. Let's give some to the kids, and we can use them on a sort of 10.5% tax rate rather than the 17.5 or 33. The reality is it's not quite that simple.
Okay.
If you're going to use your children on the farm, you've got to treat them as if they're an arm's length type person. Yeah. So you've got to pay them what's fair. You can't go over the top. So if you said they're going to do a couple of hours a week and you pay them $1,000 for 2 hours work, that's going to be a no-no. IRD can actually come back and say, look, that's not
well, they'd have to pay tax on that,
yeah, well, the children have to pay tax on it, but so IRD can actually reallocate it back to the parents as their income. So you've got to be realistic about what you can pay them.
Okay.
So there's that.
Don't push the system.
No, but people are try because they think, oh, it's a lot of tax saving from 10.5 to 7.5 or even 33 if you're at the top rate. Yeah. So they figure that they can work the system to their advantage. It's not that simple. And then of course, if you do employ your children, you've still got the health and safety to comply with.
Oh gosh, I didn't think of that.
And you've got employment agreements. So you've got sick leave, holiday pay, and all those and you've got to document it. So it's not as simple as just putting a payment through for them and paying the PAYE to IRD.
And I'm just thinking the modern child is probably right up to IRD as well.
Yeah, you'll be.
Excuse me, I'm not going to be feeding the chooks some milk in the car because I'm on holiday.
Yes, well, I have had some reason where they said their kids refused to do a certain thing because it was below them because according to what their friends were doing, they should be doing other type of work. So they're fairly well skilled up on it, and they know what the pay rates should be as well by talking to their mates. So you can't sort of underpay them either.
Yeah, well, I think my system where the stepfather person said we've got a roof over your head and we feed you a couple of times a day. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds pretty fair. Yes.
Well, I didn't think it was fair at all.
No, but it would keep you out of trouble with IRD though if you try to get too carried away.
Indeed. Faster tax returns.
Yeah, there's been some legislation put through Parliament recently, tax simplification bill. There are a lot of sort of things in it, but one of the key things is it's going to possibly make tax returns faster. At the moment, some of your sort of more old-fashioned accountants will do your tax return. They send you out the tax return to sign. You've got to sign it and send it back to them. That will eventually disappear because we've got the ability now to have e-signatures. So you can actually just get an electronic copy of a document. You sign that document, and then you
scan it and send it back.
No, it's not even scanning it. It's straight within the document. There's the ability to actually just sign that document and send it back. So you don't have to print it out, scan, email, or anything like that. So it should mean you can get a tax return filed within 24 hours rather than waiting 5+ days while you wait for the farmer to sign it and send it back. So it's going to make life a lot easier for those accountants that aren't quite up to it, or the clients who can't be bothered signing paperwork when it arrives in the mail. They can just get an email.
Well, you sort of put it on the kitchen table and then you put the Category Farming magazine on top of that, and then something else goes on top of that.
Whereas this will come in on electronics. They'll either be in the cloud or on an email. You sign that document by just filling in a couple of things on it, and you send it straight back to the accountant, and that's the end of it.
With all due respect, you've lost me. I still use a fountain pen when I'm not in the studio. But are farmers keeping up with all this?
Oh yeah, yep. Farmers are moving quite fast. We've got quite a few that use an iPad to manage their farm. They won't use pen and paper, so a couple of them will come to our office and they just sit there with their iPad, all their notes and everything. And when they want to take notes, they just type it straight into it. So they're fairly progressive, and they're pushing us hard to do other things electronically for them. Whereas some of the other software providers that we use aren't quite there, but the farmers are demanding it.
I mean, for example, your TriTech, which I think is an absolutely fabulous system because you can monitor where you are the whole way through. You still doing a hard copy of that, or was that all electronic as well?
We can do both. So we've got some where they get the electronic and some where they get the hard, or it just depends on what they want to do. Some people still like to sort of have that hard copy so they can sort of tuck their receipts into each month that we do for them.
That brings me right back to the fact that you still really have to keep an eye on budgets and on growth and income and spending.
Yeah, oh definitely, yeah. There's no time to relax. You've got to monitor it very closely. In fact, I had someone in last week where we sat down and redid their budget again because they had a change on the farm and they realised that the budget they'd done wasn't quite up to scratch anymore. And so we get right in there
and you actually keep their feet on the ground rather than saying this is what I'd hope for, this is what I expect.
Yeah, we know what they've done in the past. So we got a bit of a trend on quite a few of ours, and so we can use that against what their budget is. And they're going well outside their trend. It's going to be like, hang on, you're not going to get there. It's just get back to where you should be.
As I said, keeping the feet hard on the ground, Kerry. Thank you very much indeed.